You set the goal on Monday. Maybe you even wrote it down. By Wednesday you were still going. Thursday felt harder. Friday you skipped once, told yourself you'd restart on Monday, and then Monday came and the whole thing quietly disappeared. You've probably tried again since then with the same result. The goal changes, the gym, the journal, the early morning, the diet. The pattern stays the same. You failed because of how habits actually form. And once you understand the mechanism, you can build things that stick.
You've probably done this. You felt genuinely motivated on day 1. You believed at this time you had a reason. By day 5, the motivation was gone, and you were white-knuckling it. By day 10, it was over. And then you told yourself, you just need more discipline. Here's the problem with that. Motivation and discipline live in your prefrontal cortex. Habits don't live there. Habits live in the basal ganglia, a structure buried deep in your brain that runs on automatic, doesn't care about your goals, doesn't respond to inspiration, and cannot be reasoned with. It only learns one way: repetition followed immediately by reward. That's it. Every time you try to willpower your way into a habit, you're talking to the wrong part of your brain. You've probably heard the 21-day rule. You tried it. You made it 21 days once maybe. Then day 22 happened, and somehow the whole thing unraveled anyway. That rule is a myth. It came from a plastic surgeon in the 1960s who noticed patients took about 21 days to adjust to a new nose. Nobody tested it on behavior. Nobody tested it on anything. The real number comes from a 2010 University College London study that tracked 96 people over 12 weeks. Habits took anywhere from 18 to 254 days. Average, 66 days. And the thing that determined whether a habit formed had nothing to do with streaks. It was whether the behavior produced an immediate positive feeling. Every single time. You're not missing willpower. You're missing the reward signal. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't decide to do it every morning. You just do it. Something triggers it. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, and before a single conscious thought happens, you're already reaching for the brush. That's not discipline, that's a wired loop. Neuroscientist Anne Graybiel at MIT studied exactly how this happens. Once a behavior becomes habitual, the brain delegates it to the basal ganglia and stops thinking about it. Cue fires, routine runs, reward lands, loop strengthens. Wolfram Schultz's Nobel Prize-winning research on dopamine added the missing piece. Once the loop is wired, dopamine fires at the cue, not the reward. The cue itself creates the urge. That's why you reach for your phone before you've decided to. That's why the gym feels easy once it's a habit and impossible when it isn't. The loop isn't there yet. Build the loop.
Step 1. Make the cue impossible to miss. Your brain needs a reliable trigger to start the habit loop. Vague intentions give it nothing. I'll go to the gym this week is not a cue. Peter Gollwitzer's research on implementation intention shows that specifying exactly when and where a behavior will happen increases follow-through by 200 to 300%. Pick a cue that already reliably happens in your day: waking up, making coffee, sitting at your desk. Then tie the behavior to it. After I pour my coffee, I will write for 10 minutes. The existing cue fires. The new behavior follows. Your brain doesn't have to decide. It just runs the sequence. Step 2. Stack the new behavior onto one that already runs automatically. B.J. Fogg at Stanford developed tiny habits by studying how new behaviors attach to existing ones. He calls the existing behavior the anchor. You already brush your teeth. You already sit down at your desk. You already lock the front door. Each of these is a ready-made cue for something new. After I sit down at my desk, I will open my notebook and write one sentence. After I brush my teeth, I will do 2 minutes of stretching. The anchor fires automatically. The new behavior rides behind it. You don't need to remember. The sequence starts on its own. Step 3. Reward the behavior immediately. Your basal ganglia doesn't care about long-term outcomes. It cares about what happens in the seconds after the behavior. If there's no immediate positive signal, the loop doesn't strengthen. This means you have to manufacture the reward. It can be small. After you complete the habit, say yes out loud. Do a small physical gesture. Let yourself feel satisfied, on purpose, for 2 seconds. Fogg calls this celebration. His research shows that the emotional signal immediately following a behavior is the most reliable predictor of whether it becomes automatic. Train your brain to feel good about the behavior itself. The results come later. Step 4. Start small enough that failure is impossible. Most habits die because the starting version is too big. You want to build a reading habit, so you commit to 30 minutes a night. After a long day, 30 minutes feels like a burden. You skip it once. 2 skips becomes a pattern. Fogg's principle: design the version you can do on your worst day. 2 minutes. 1 page. 5 push-ups. The goal is to show up consistently until the behavior becomes automatic, not to maximize each session. A 2-minute habit you do every day for 60 days will change your behavior more than a 30-minute habit you do 3 times and abandon. The loop has to form first. Scale comes after. You haven't failed at building habits because you lack discipline. You've been working against how the basal ganglia actually learns. Habits form through cues, routines, and immediate rewards, on repeat, until the cue itself generates the urge. For tools to build that loop, tie the behavior to a specific existing cue so your brain has a reliable trigger. Stack it on an anchor that already runs automatically. Reward it immediately with a small emotional signal so the loop strengthens. And start so small you can show up even on the days you have nothing left. These aren't hacks. This is how the mechanism works. If this changed how you see what's happening in your own head, subscribe. Peak Mind Protocol releases 1 mechanism per week. Each one is something your brain can actually use.